This was my UNIV 200 research topic, in all its fascinating, infuriating, confusing, and important glory. I first heard about safe spaces in my own high school, where I started seeing these stickers around. These were part of the Safe Space Project, indicating classrooms or offices safe for LGBT students from bullying or harassment. The general goal was to prevent things like this.
The most important tool is respect.
Ha! Gay!
As a gay student myself, I thought it was cool, but I didn't think much of it beyond that. As I started spending more time in social justice circles, I heard the term pop up more and more. Essentially, safe spaces were a spot that you weren't going to be made fun of, particularly about parts of your identity. Well, I left high school 3 years ago, and today the term safe space has changed a lot. Many look at it with disdain, just a bunch of liberal snowflakes trying to limit free speech. Others see safe spaces as essential standards of conduct to create inclusive learning environments. Debate about safe spaces, trigger warnings, microaggressions, and more rages across campuses all over America. It's a crisis of identity, as schools are having to pick what kind of learning environments they want to create. I'm really fascinated by the ideas behind this debate. I want people to feel safe, included, and welcomed on campus. But at the same time, I'm a huge believer in free speech. So how do I find balance in those two things?
To the bat for right.
I went all the way down the rabbit hole on this topic. Reading books and articles, watching news coverage. I drove all the way to DC because that's where I could see the limited release of this pretty insulting, far-right leaning documentary called No Safe Spaces. I watched this really beautiful film that was originally called Safe Space and then had its name changed to After Class. It was so good that I rewatched it with my mom and my little brother. I spent hours and hours trying to make sense of this topic, not only for this class, but just because I'm interested in it and I want to know. I want to be someone that is creating space where everyone can feel welcome, but I also have really firmly held beliefs about the kind of debate that I want to be able to have happen within universities. Eventually, I came to this conclusion. The phrase safe space isn't helping anything. It's impossible to find an accepted definition of what a safe space really is and what it means to create one. Each story that comes out of these universities are completely different and need to be looked at through their own lens. And if you try and watch any news story that talks about these topics, you feel like you're looking at two completely different realities. So that's what I wrote my essay on. The phrase safe space needs to be done away with. Not the concept, not the ideas, just the phrase itself. It's too divisive, politicized, and immediately gets everybody riled up and defensive. If we want to move forward with a contemporary campus climate that is inclusive, if we want to move forward and have some of the difficult conversations that need to happen about contemporary campus culture and creating open and inviting environments for all students while preserving the free speech of those who have opinions we might disagree with, we need to be able to have complex, nuanced conversations about this really difficult topic. And that's simply not going to happen while the phrase safe space is still at the center of the debate.